Winning. The thrill of victory and avoiding the agony of defeat begins by building a strong foundation. Create a mindset that helps you overcome obstacles and allows you to achieve greatness. This is Don Guyman for the win.
This is Don Guyman for the win. The golden rule, a forgotten concept in our society, treating others as we would like to be treated. We see it in politics today. People hold their candidates to a different standard than the other candidates. They point their fingers until their candidate does the very same thing, and then they change their opinions. There are few principles anymore because all we do is point fingers. We change our opinions as our candidates change theirs. Politics, instead of being rooted in principle, has become rooted in tribalism. As long as my tribe is doing it, it's okay, but your tribe better not do it. We see this at work. I once had a leader who made me attend an event despite a recent surgery, all in the name of supporting the team, even though the activity could have put my health in danger. Shortly thereafter, we had a couple of other events the leader should have attended, and I was. The leader made excuses of why he couldn't attend. He held himself to a different standard than the standard he was holding me to. When we are in the workplace and we hold individuals to different standards than what we hold ourselves to, that creates a toxic environment. That creates an environment where teams don't function, where teams become dysfunctional, and an organization falls apart. We see this in relationships. How oftentimes we hear about a spouse getting upset at their spouse because they go spend time with their friends. And then they go do the very same thing. Or get upset because the spouse spent money while they freely spend of the money of the couple's money. We find this in sports. Having been involved with youth sports for years, I remember the end of one season of football game. Our team had lost to a better team. One of the players' fathers went up to one of the coaches and told him it was his fault we lost. He forgot that this man had volunteered to coach his son for over 3 months, sacrificing at least 3 nights a week, and at the beginning of the season, every night, sacrificing Saturdays, sacrificing time to prep the team. He forgot all this man had done. When this man, who was blaming the coach and getting mad at him, couldn't be bothered to do any volunteer work because he spent his sole time at the game taking pictures of his son. We see this in religions. We hold people to a different standard than other people do. Many people hold themselves as being very pious, pointing their finger at other people, recognizing that they aren't perfect themselves. And in fact, there's only one perfect man who ever walked on the earth. I remember there's a story about the Brothers Grimm that talks about the golden rule. There once was an old man whose eyes had become dim, his ears dull of hearing, his knees trembled, and when he sat at table, he could barely hold the spoon and spilled the broth upon the tablecloth, or let it run out of his mouth. His son and his son's wife were disgusted at this. So the old grandfather at last had to sit in the corner behind the stove, and they gave him his food in an earthenware bowl, and not even enough of it, and he used to look towards the table with his eyes full of tears. Once, too, his trembling hands could not hold the bowl, and it fell to the ground and broke. The young wife scolded him, as he said nothing and only sighed. Then they brought him a wooden bowl for a few halfpence, out of which he had to eat. They were once sitting thus when the little grandson of 4 years began to gather together some bits of wood upon the ground. "What are you doing there?" asked the father. "I am making a little trough," answered the child, "for father and mother to eat out of when I am big? The man and his wife looked at each other for a while and presently began to cry. Then they took the old grandfather to the table, and henceforth always let him eat with them, and likewise said nothing if he did spill a little of anything. If you want to be truly happy, we need to stop thinking about ourselves and thinking about how our actions impact others. We need to begin thinking our actions consistent with our words. When our actions are consistent with our words, we find happiness because we're living a principled life. When we begin thinking of others instead of just ourselves, we're happy. If we simply practice the golden rule, we'd have world peace. Marriages would thrive. We'd have better workplaces. We'd have better politics, civil debate. We as a people would be happy because happiness comes when we stop focusing on ourselves and focus on how we can bless the lives of others. And when we do that, we achieve true greatness. Please like and share this video. Also, if you liked what you heard here, be sure to check out my book, God Will Send a Boat, available on Amazon. Check the link in the comments below. This is Don Guyman for The Win.